Hey, how's it going? It's Grant with the Garden of Eater.
I'm Shelby K.
And today we're talking about our top 20 best shrimp to keep in most tap water parameters. I say most tap water because depending on where you live in the United States or whatever country you live in, you're going to have different water parameters depending on one county to another, depending on how big your county is. You can even have different water parameters within the same county. Also depends on how old your pipes are and stuff like that. So a lot of things to take into consideration. But for the most part, 80% of most tap water in the United States can take or is good enough for neocardinas. There's some tap water, of course, that's like 60 TDS or lower. That's going to be, a little bit too low for neocardina. But we have bred neocardina ourselves in 70 TDS. So, they can take a little low amount of mineral content in the water. It needs to be supplemented with mineral foods and a good diet and stuff like that. But generally speaking, most tap water is also under 600 total dissolved solids. Neos could take probably over 1,000 in most situations, but not every neocardina will be able to do that. It really depends on the colony and where they come from. Our neocardina personally are kept at 180 TDS. Our tap water comes out about 170, and then when we dose the prime to take out the chlorine, it does add about 10 TDS to the water. You got something for me?
I do see it. And Nirvana Aquatics also mentioned you could have a sodium-based water softener built into your apartment building that makes it near impossible to keep healthy tanks without RO.
Yeah, so water softeners and stuff like that, I don't consider that like straight tap because it's being run through a water softener. Most well water and stuff like that is also run through a water softener. So those aren't good examples. And yeah, anybody's that runs through a water softener for whatever reason, the GH is usually lower than the KH. And there's also something else got to be going on. But the shrimp definitely do not like the water that's been softened that way. So started off the top of our list, we have, and not only that, but this list isn't just going to be the easiest to care for. We've also put some thought into the demand, the price, and how easy it is to breed these shrimp as well. So, and that's not just getting babies out, that's getting high quality, grade, nice babies out of them. So, number one on the list, we have red cherries, fire reds, painted fire red cherries. Basically all the same shrimp. You're going to get different grades, whether you keep fire red cherries or just regular old red cherries. You're going to get a mix of all three grades if they start breeding on you. And it is one of the highest demand shrimps still in the hobby. In my last talk, I kind of talked to it was the great gateway shrimp for most people getting into the hobby. The other one is crystal shrimp, or the candy canes is what all the newbies want to try and call them and whatnot. But those are not on the list. They are not good for tap water. But the red cherries are almost going to do well in just about all parameters that you can keep shrimp in, period. So, of course, there's brackish and saltwater that they're not going to work out too far with. But I do have a friend that kept neocardinas in with his clownfish in a saltwater setup. I don't know how long they survived, but there was definitely some in there for months at a time. But the demand for red cherries is just so high. Whether it's at your local pet club, local fish store, at the shows and stuff like that, it seems like whenever we have the red cherries, it's the number one asked for shrimp on the table. And then I have no idea what Shelby's getting. It's going to be a surprise, just as much for me as it is for you guys. But I don't know. Besides the fact that they're just high demand, they are the easiest shrimp to breed. They're going to throw the culls. The culls are going to be the red cherry grades and stuff like that. And then they're also going to throw nicer colors like the fire reds and the painted fire reds. You hadn't grabbed your phone so you can keep up with chat.
So I could message without going like this.
I got you. I thought we were going to get a surprise or something like that.
No.
I while we're talking about red cherries, I do think we should have been giving away one of Sam Scales' prints. So if you do disappear again, grab one of Sam Scales' red cherry prints,
Okay.
and we'll go ahead and give one of those away tonight. So we do have a second option on the list for Neo Caridina. For the most part, this is and has been one of the highest demand shrimp period, and it is the Blue Dreams. And the Blue Dreams, they're not as easy to keep true as the Blue Diamonds if you watched our video, but they do produce a lot of high quality, nice blues themselves. And that in the name, some people like diamonds, but there's a lot of people that like the name Blue Dream out there. They were, one of the sooner ones, they were introduced relatively earlier than the Blue Diamonds into the hobby. And because of that, there's a lot more information, a lot more videos out there and stuff like that. So they are a little bit more common than the Blue Diamonds. A lot of people don't know what the Blue Diamonds are when we go to the shows and stuff like that, but not a lot of people ever ask what the Blue Dreams are. They will ask the difference between the two of them, though, because when you look at them, they pretty much do look the same. But checking on the website, we do end up selling Blue Dreams more often than Blue Diamonds. I also think it might be because there's $1 difference on the price there. So saving a buck definitely helps. Probably drive up their price a little bit, but the demand for blues is definitely there. We're just barely able to make the demand on our website for Blue Dreams and Blue Diamonds. We've taken them off of wholesale because we can no longer offer them up at wholesale and then keep them on our website. So the Blue Dreams are number 2, but back to number 1, we have the Sam Scales print. We've got a nice red cherry right here, and we will get that shipped out to whoever wins this. We'll draw this after Crypt Keeper's question of the week. And you want to do the hashtag for it already?
Yeah, I already did.
Oh, you already typed it in chat?
Oh, sorry, no.
I didn't see what it was. Sorry.
It's cherry scales.
Why are you saying it so quietly?
Because I can still hear.
All
I'm
right,
putting
so
it in
cherry
chat.
scales, and we'll pick a winner after Crypt Keeper's question of the week.
Hello there, Mark.
So, Mark, have a safe trip tomorrow. You're flying to Jamaica to catch
Jealous.
Achilles.
For my birthday, I heard. Just,
And-
happens to line up at the same exact time. Achilles fish.
And some rare, or not rare, but the Achilles are rare, and then also some maybe possible
Lima.
tiger limias.
Those
and
are still
who-
pretty rare
Who
in the
knows
hobby.
what else you could possibly find in Jamaica.
He's not
He
coming back.
talked about bringing back some possible Jamaican anoles if he has the ability, so that would be cool. But red cherries, Blue Dreams, number 3 on the list, and the demand for this shrimp just cannot be met, I do not think, in the hobby, and that is green jades. We constantly are having a battle with green jades. If some of you watched one of our previous streams, I announced that green jades were back available. I have already stopped taking orders and promising people that they'd be able to go out. They are now back on a wait list. So if you were wanting green jades, yeah, I mean, they're
That's fast.
we had off of that one live stream, I sold 70 before I woke up on Tuesday morning. So
So keep
Going
dreaming about them
backwards.
Jamaican anoles.
So the green jades, the demand is super high, especially come around St. Patty's Day. Everybody wants to add a little bit of green into their tank, a little bit of Irish luck. You might have it, but there are definitely a good demand for good quality green jades. There is an issue with the amount of culls that they do produce, but the culls can have a little bit of good coloration to them also, and they sell pretty well still. So it's worth keeping the green jades because they do sell for 5, 6 or higher, depending on where you're at. So.
Right. Back to the blues. So Nirvana Aquatics asked, "Are the blue diamonds you have from a chocolate line?"
So all blue diamonds come from a chocolate or black rose line. I'll be talking about that a little bit later, but if you watch our video, what's the difference between a blue dream and a blue diamond? Basically, the difference is the blue diamonds come from a chocolate line, where the blue dreams can come from cherries, through blue velvets, through red lilies. All right, so we got number 3, green jades. The demand is really high. They're really easy to breed, but they throw a lot of culls. The price is pretty well on them. And not only that, but they're one of the cooler looking shrimps. They can have a back line. Some of them don't. There's so many different shades of green and a lot of possibilities to be worked on still with those shrimp. So I definitely recommend you getting green jades if you're looking to keep and breed and sell. They're definitely one of the 3 horsemen. I got to put them up there in the top 3. Then number 4 on the list, these are the yellow neos. The demand might not be as high as the green, red, and blue, but the demand is definitely out there. And not only that, but they're so easy to breed, and they throw the least amount of culls out of all of the shrimp that I have just listed. Besides, a really good line of blue dreams might throw less culls, but for the most part, our yellow line throws less than 1% culls. Where our blue dream, we definitely get lighter color blues and reds and stuff like that. So it's definitely more cull rate.
Mountain Greenery asked, "Are blue sapphires the same as blue diamonds?"
So blue sapphires, blue cobalt blues, they're fantasy blues. These are actually all just renamed off of either or blue dreams or blue diamonds. So it really is like just, oh, I can't get one or the other, but this is what sells the best on my website. So a lot of the sellers and the importers and people who bring them in, they'll just rename the shrimp to get a sale. So unless you breed them out, I couldn't tell you what blue sapphires even are, because they're either blue dreams or blue diamonds, but every single seller, every line, they're getting them from a different source and putting their own name on them. So that's the problem. Until you breed them out, you don't know. That's why it's important to ask the seller and get from a homebred source. All right. So the yellow neos, there's a good demand. They sell well. Not a lot of culls. They get massive outside. They do really well in contests, and they just look great in aquascapes and stuff like that. So definitely one I recommend. Can somebody comment down below if you can hear our dog snoring? I can hear him snoring.
I thought that was thunder.
No, it's him snoring. He's a
He
big
must-
old goof.
I think
and
he's up against the tank stand.
Yeah, he's right on the other side of the walls that we have made with our tank stand.
But back to yellows, they do stand out the most in like any aquascaping tank. So if you have a heavily planted tank and you're struggling to see, it's either red cherries or yellows.
And number 5 on the list, this brings us to the blue diamonds. The blues in general are just a really hot commodity. We go to the shows and sometimes we'll sell 30 bags of blues. And that's just crazy when you think that we barely struggle to sell 15 bags of the other colors. So a lot of people can't make up their mind between blue dreams and blue diamonds. So it's really how much work do you want to put into the shrimp. The blue dreams will throw more culls. My line will throw more culls than the blue diamonds. So that's why our blue diamonds are a little bit more in price. The blue diamonds will throw some very few blacks, maybe some carbon lilies, but other than that, they're pretty true and breed mostly all dark blue shrimp. So that way we're able to charge a little bit extra for them. And then, they're basically the same shrimp on the outside. So it's, do you want to save money or do you want to save time and energy on having to cull and stuff like that? So they're definitely sought out. A lot of people like the color blue. And for that reason, we have two of our shrimp in the top five are indeed blue. But that wraps it up to top six, which is green emeralds in sixth place. So that's two greens in the top six. And
You jinxed it.
jinxed what?
Night Owl said, "What kind of fish do you keep in with your mosaic plants? Have a random fry in the tub and not sure where it came from."
A blue Medaka rice fish. The blue Miyoki,
That's Medaka.
there's like a Miyoki or something like thrown in it, but I'm pretty sure I'm mispronouncing it because we have a friend named Jeff.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a little rough, but they're the blue Medaka rice fish.
Amisa did ask, if I get blues from a carbon rilly, would that be a blue diamond?
So if you got blues from a carbon rilly, carbon rillies are from blue diamonds. Yes, it would be the exact same line coming from the chocolate line as well.
So Christy Stevenson used the member for 2 months. Thank you. Super Chat says, have orange. If I get yellows, what would mix be bred? What would be bred?
So if you breed them together, chances are you're going to get wilds. There's a very low chance that they could breed together and you don't get any mixed colorations and you just get orange and yellow. There are some lines of orange that are bred out of greens. There's some that are bred out of chocolates. There's some that are bred out of higher grade yellows. There's not too many of those around because they don't have the back line. It's really hard to do. But most of them come from like a different branch on the Neocaridina tree than the yellow. So it's probably going to end up in wild type shrimp. So back to the list. Number 6 is green emeralds. Just like the green jades, green emeralds, there's a huge demand even around St. Patty's Day. It's just all green shrimp in general. It's like that for the pumpkin shrimp come Halloween and stuff like that. The holidays really play on the demand just a little bit. The candy cane shrimp will sell a little bit more during Christmas time and so on. So the green emeralds, though, the demand for that deep dark green shrimp, it's just out there. We actually have those available on the website, but it's just a matter of time probably before I got to pull those back. We do have a really good, nice tank of them going on in the garage. The warmer temperatures, we've got a light, one of the Fluval lights cranked on there, so it's a really strong light. We got some isopods in there. We feed the tank a lot, and for that reason, the numbers are kind of jacked up right now. Not a lot of culls. Probably gonna have to take the culls off the website before I take the green emeralds. So the demand is definitely there. We've just now recently opened them back up on the website. So timing is great if you want green emeralds, but if you're just trying to set up the tank, they'll probably be out of stock before you're done with your cycle. But just about everywhere.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
I have to interrupt you. Dee Dee's member for 12 months membership. Thank you so much. Says, yay, I made it to my first full year.
Well, congratulations, Dee Dee. We will write you down on the list of VIPs that will be getting a special gift. We have yet to really agree on something, but now we kind of have to because we have somebody. There was somebody else that did 11 months last month too, right?
No, we have like 5
else?
or 6 people on the 12 months already.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
All right, so I think we really need to get it together. We're done traveling. We're on top of water changes and stuff like that. There is a little bit of chaos going on because we're moving tanks right now, but I think we could.
Yeah, see, Jeff came member for 13 months.
Oh man, Jeff
slacking.
What a legend!
A whole month
13 months. Oh, Matt, only 10. Only 10. I was the first member, though. What happened? I don't know. The numbers don't lie. I think Jeff
It
Kane
must
got you
have
beat.
been a few months where you just didn't like us anymore.
I know. There's like Yellowstone, a couple other people who definitely have been since the beginning, and then credit card renewal and stuff like that. So I will cut you some slack, Matt. Maybe you were possibly discontinued because you had to renew one of them credit cards. So um, we got the giveaway going on. We were talking about green emeralds. They're a lot easier to breed true than the green jades. They throw a lot less culls. That's again similar reason why I can charge a little bit more money for them, like the blue diamonds. Was Crypt Keeper 13 months too? Oh man,
Yeah. First Carabina.
first Carabina. All
Level
right.
leader.
Maybe like Crypt
Oh,
Keeper's got a
yeah.
record of everybody. If we just ask Crypt Keeper.
It's all on there. It shows you.
Okay.
2 buttons.
Shelby's got the record. Never mind. I don't. This is how little I know. But like, did you know there's a crystal shrimp on the T-shirt? I don't even
you
know
didn't
what's
even
going
show
on
the
about
shirt
it.
off. This is an awesome shirt that I got for him at the Aquashella, Dallas. Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
just came
so
to the booth and you
There
had a
was
free
a
T-shirt.
the
for me,
person
so.
I forgot the name of
Nature
it.
Design.
Nature Design.
The,
And
the ND.
the guy was walking around with the shirt and it says, it's hard to read on there. It says, "No, I do not eat them." And I was like, I have to have that shirt just for Grant when we go over to family events. And the guy was like, yeah, we're right over here. And I was like, sold.
If your family knows you keep shrimp, everybody has the uncle that I will ask you, did you bring any of your shrimp for us to eat? So yeah, this will answer it, and I will just look away. So I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about, right? And then we've got, are you announcing these?
I just
Everyone
sorry.
should.
And
everyone.
Oinky's a member for 5 months. What shrimp could be compatible with ghost shrimp?
So I would say like a monos would be like the best compatible shrimp for the ghost shrimp. Ghost shrimp are going to be bullies, so pairing them up with a bigger bully is kind of the way to go. You could keep them with some Neocaridina shrimp, but generally speaking, they're a little bit of bullies and they're rough. But chances are the Neocaridina are going to outlive your ghost shrimp and then start producing. But why do you have ghost shrimp? Why? There's so many better, easier shrimp on the list. Ghost shrimp didn't even make the list to keep in tap water. I'll tell you why. Because most of them are caught in brackish or saltwater. They're not going to breed or reproduce in your tank. They're sold as feeders for a reason. Most of them die from one shipment to another. And that's why they sell them, is because they expect them to be dead in your tank and not kept as pets. But don't get me wrong, we also had a feeder tank where I was not upset when the shrimp survived in there for ages, but I was always curious why the shrimp never bred in there where my guppies were. And it's because of the larva stage. It's just so hard for those to survive with fish in there, on top of it's so hard to get the larva stage to survive in freshwater, period.
Nirvana Aquatic said, do y'all have a good reference for a bloodline chart that's actually accurate? We do actually have a live stream that we talk about the charts and how inaccurate most of them are. So if you check out our genetics live stream we did, it's really cool and it kind of explains where the charts are wrong. We have not had the time. We do actually have someone that wants to help us illustrate one and do one, but we just have not had the time. It won't be till like I'm at home full time to actually do something like that. Right now, we're just trying to stay on top of it, at least getting YouTube videos out for the members and for something for you guys to have. There should be another video going out this week. I'm not sure which one we'll put out this week and next week. We have 2 lined up, so keep tuned for those.
So, I got an idea, Shelby.
I'm interrupting you. Sorry. Kenny just gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Danikin. And it's trying to let me allow gifts for myself. That'd be so terrible. So welcome to the team, Richard, Linda, Amisa, and Frank, and Mountain Greenery. So any of can message us and email us at thegardenofeater@gmail.com. to get your membership sticker and your members only discount. So just
Thank you,
don't forget
Kenny or Danny, whichever one. Maybe it was both of you, combination duo like ourselves. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys.
And they're 1 month away for being a 1 year member as well.
Are you guys traveling?
11
Are we going to
months.
make it to any of these East Coast the shows? I would love it if you came to Florida, man.
And I am staying on top of it this time, Matt. I'm doing a little bit better on this. Trying.
But so my idea, all right.
Mm-hmm.
We and I forgot the person that asked it, but they were asking about Bloodline. So those that are watching, those that are going to be rewatching this, replay crew, etc. Whoever comments down below the best topic for us to do a live stream on, if we use your live stream idea, we will send you a Sam Scales print of one of the shrimp. We have more than just red cherries. We've got some Galaxy Pintos and fancy red tigers, if I believe, as well. So you'll get to choose between them. So a little contest here, but whoever has the best idea for a live stream topic, and we might choose more than one. So if we've got a couple good ideas, we'll send you all a print from Sam, and then you get a whole live stream dedicated to your topic. So a whole hour at least. And you know me, I'm an overachiever. I like to go overboard, so it'll probably be an hour 20.
Welcome to the team, Nirvana Aquatics.
It was Nirvana Aquatics. See, I know.
Zulu Wesse member. Thank you so much.
You gave me the idea too. Thank you. I just spaced on your name. Sorry. I've been really out of it for the last 2 weeks, but do we have no videos?
No.
So no interruption.
I haven't,
well, welcome to the team. Do we have a sticker? Can we at least show the sticker to these people that are newly members what they're getting on top of the 10% off discount code to our website, tgoeshrimp.com. We're also in the middle of moving several aquariums out of our bedroom. We posted a picture of that today on our Facebook page, and we are in the process of moving a lot of the shrimp into these aquariums that are open and empty. A few of them have Shelby's fish in them still, but those have room. We have room for those outside. And then here's the sticker.
Shiny sticker.
So you could use that membership code. There's still fancy red tigers, green tiger culls, yellow King Kong hybrids, maybe yellow King Kongs too. Don't quote me on that. Can't remember. Galaxy Pintos and Tang Tai and red steels. Red steels are 50% off at $3 a piece. We had somebody order a 10-pack of those. I cleaned out the red spotted head Pinto tank, so that person at least got 15 for the price of like 5. So that's quite the deal. But I'd rather give them away basically to orders than risk selling or not selling, but moving them over in a heavily populated, dense colony. So we've only got so much room to spread them out here. And I don't need more tanks of fancy red tigers, I'll just be honest, or red steels. So that's why they're priced to sell. So comment down below your ideas. And we're also giving away this tonight. Getting back to the chat.
One last thing too. Anyone placing an order that is a member and you use the membership discount or put it in the comments that you're a member will also get a free keychain until they disappear. We probably only have about 20 left. So any of those orders going out, we're chucking one of these in. These will only be this time. Anyone who's got a keychain, you're going to be the only ones with these keychains because they will be gone after this. And we will be moving on to something new.
Do you want to go ahead and see if we can't set up the phone on the tripod and see if that gives better quality? Because just you trying to get focus on the keychain, I don't think anybody saw it. So we were going to do that tonight. Totally spaced on it, forgot. But back to the list here. The topic of tonight got a little off track. red cherries, blue dreams, green jades, yellow neos, blue diamonds, green emeralds, and that's the top 6. And now we are going to hit number 7, which is the first Caradina on the list, and those are the Tangerine Tigers. Our line is very, very true and very hardy. They don't produce any culls. Every now and then I'll get like a yellowish looking one, but then like in a week or two he'll darken up and turn a nice deep dark shade of orange like the rest of them. Not a lot of like weird stripes or spotting. They're all dead on like what they're supposed to look like, and they every now and then outbreed just about all of my Neocaridina. We had 4 of them in a little 10-gallon tank, which were in Caridina parameters, but just the 4 of them were producing 40 babies every week or so, and we were able to keep up with demand. They do breed slightly slower in the tap water parameters, but they still survive. They still live. We've moved an entire 55-gallon tank of Tangerine Tigers out of Jaden's room into the garage, where the temperatures are mid 80s, and we stopped using stopped using RO water and GH only minerals once we moved them in there and filled them up with tap water. So they really got the royal treatment just being tossed into the garage, or didn't get the royal treatment. But they're doing well. They're surviving. Again, they're not producing as many babies as like the 40-gallon tank that we have in Caridina parameters inside, but they're hardy suckers and they breed really true. The demand is really high because you can keep them in a Neocaridina tank and they're not going to crossbreed and make wilds. Where, like we mentioned with the yellows and the oranges, if you keep them together, chances are they're going to make a wild type shrimp. It's going to be clear, maybe have a little bit of a blue or red, green, maybe coloration to it. But at the end of the day, you're going to need to plug this into. At the end of the day, they're an ugly, unwanted shrimp to most people. We sell them for $1 to $1.50, depending on how many we have in stock. But they're, you're taking a $4 or $6 shrimp and crossing them together, and you're ending up with a $1.50 top shrimp at the end of the day. So most people don't want to do that. They want to keep the color in the tank and not have to worry about a bunch of wilds, which are more dominant. So anything that breeds with a wild is going to end up wild. They grow faster. They breed a little bit sooner than the other Neos. So they do end up taking over a Skittles tank or anything like that quite quickly. So the trick is pick your favorite Neo and then pick a tiger shrimp. And the go-to one is Tangerine Tiger. So you get a little orange in the tank. Something that's going to be super hardy breed for you with the Neocaridinas. And you're not going to end up with a wild, ugly type shrimp afterwards. I always tell people, unless your name's Matt, if you can keep Neocaridina shrimp, you can also keep Tangerine Tigers. If you're killing Tangerine Tigers, you're probably killing like lots of other fish and other things as well. I'm not talking about you, Matt. Maybe you do, but I don't know how you killed them. Unless it's just hot in your fish room. Maybe it went from hot to cold way too quickly. I thought Matt was going to say something whippy snappy, but it's just asking about, oh, there it is. Excuse me. You did kill the Tangerine Tiger. So that's what we're referring to. Hello, Shelby. Welcome back to the stream. You got it muted.
Yeah.
And everybody can hear me. Now you can see me twice. I don't think anybody wants to see me
Look at
twice.
the quality, though. Look at the quality
now
of
you
difference.
can take your VR gear, and maybe
my
it'll
gosh.
work. It probably won't because the quality's off and the angle is slightly off. You got to fix that angle. That angle is jacked, Shelby. That angle is jacked.
I'm dying.
But
They still hear us. I need to
if
know
we do
that.
this, We've got a
No, you did
Yeah.
it wrong. This is what it is.
no.
Hold on. Where's the good quality one?
Hear me, because that's what I did. No,
We tried.
This was a test. We tried.
Look
It
how
didn't
much of
work.
the quality is
I
just
know.
superb.
So one day we'll figure out how to turn this mic on with that phone. Yeah, the quality is much superb. Somebody brought it to our attention because we just posted a video. Believe it or not, we're posting videos again. But yeah, it was. I don't know. Somebody was like, "The quality here looks so good. You guys get a new computer? Am I just used to watching you live?" And yeah, the live stream quality sucks. It's our computer right here, and it's not an improved webcam or anything like that. So you don't need to see us twice. We can stop this.
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure which one. Okay, remove. All right, I'll figure it out.
I don't think we need to figure it out tonight, though. So, Tangerine Tigers, number 7, super easy. Unless your name's Matt, you'll be able to take care of these no problem. And then I know several Matts though that can't keep these. So maybe it's just Liquid Zoo. Is he over there talking? All right, back to the list. Number 8, I've got Bloody Marys. It's one of the shrimp that we haven't offered for sale in ages. We have kept them in the past. I sold thousands out of a 55-gallon that we used to have in Jaden's room. Then I ruined the colony one night, came home from one of the aquatic experiences, and accidentally put my red cherries in there after like a 17-hour drive home. I was like, red shrimp, red tank, that's going to work, right? No, it wasn't the go-to move. What is so funny? Now you gotta fill me in.
Anyone else wonder how the Amish forest complained?
Listen, I learned so much about the Amish. I don't know if you watched last week's stream, but I sold out an Amish firehouse. All right, that thing was packed. Okay, there was like 200 bags of fish on that table for auction, and plants and other dry goods and stuff like that. So yeah, the Amish, the Amish might be recruited to come work for us in the future. I don't know if you were there for last week's stream, but you should watch it if you want.
Of course, I watched.
Okay. So I think I went on like a tantrum about Amish people or the Hiccups, one of the two. But Bloody Marys, they come from chocolates or black rose. That's the difference between Bloody Mary and red cherry. But a lot of people just assume that the deeper, darker, nice red cherries are Bloody Marys. That's not the case. It is deep down in the genetics. Oh, I'm sorry, 265 from the president himself, Mr. Scotty. Yeah, it was a great little club meeting. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a great trip. Thank you so much for having us.
Jamie made me nervous. I thought our mic was broken again. Sorry.
So the Bloody Marys, because people think that they're the higher grade of red cherries, that's what people want. They assume that that's a red cherry, but looking at a red cherry and a Bloody Mary, you cannot tell the difference. Again, you got to breed them out to know. And like the Bloody Marys, they can breed so true. So it's so hard. You may never know from breeding them out. So this is one where you've got to trust the source. You got to know where they came from. But just like the Fantasy Blues, just like the Cobalt Blues and all those other names, a lot of the sellers are just naming the fire red cherries as Bloody Marys to get a quick sale. So there's a lot of debate on whether this line is pure or actual Bloody Marys, and the shortness of the rostrum or the nose and stuff like that. It's all a bunch of gimmick and BS, and in the end, it's just whether or not they came from Black Rose, and really that's just a Black Rose cull that's been bred out. And they do throw, for a majority, just like the Blue Diamonds, for whatever reason, a higher percentage of nicer, higher grade reds. I wanted to call them red cherries, but they're not that, are they? No. You good? You on over there one more time, and I'm gonna have to get you your own camera.
Yeah, I'm not even paying attention. I just haven't seen some of these fish for a while because we haven't replaced the power strip. So I'm just like staring at them for like a good 5 minutes.
If somebody flooded
Forgetting
the
it.
tank and hit the lights, and there that one went. But we won't bring up any
Anyways,
names.
Real quick, sorry is anyone combined an aquatic pet store with a dispensary? No, but they do have like reptile ones that you can smoke in. It's really cool. But anyways, that wasn't a question. Sorry, I thought there was
Alright.
some other question there for you.
Number 9 on the list, we have another Caridina. These are going to be the Stardust. The only reason why I say these are not as hardy as the Tangerine Tigers, because I think the Tangerine Tigers do a little bit better in weather temperatures than the Stardust. I do notice that when we ship out during the wintertime, there's some cases where the people leave the shrimp out for a little bit longer than they should on the porch. And some people have thought that their Stardust were wiped out and all dead. But then, you warm them up, you get them acclimated, and they can kind of like de-thaw, and, they kind of spring back to life a little bit. So they are, any longer out on the porch, and they would, I think, freeze, or not freeze to death, but die of cold a little bit quicker than the rest of the tigers. But in a tank, in an environment, neglect, dirtiness, they love it. So we had a self-floating crawfish tank that I used to breed crawfish to feed our turtles. I did no water changes. I fed the scraps. Any leftover meat, any dead fish, anything like that, I would throw into the crawfish tank, and I would just get, tons of little critters and stuff like that. But I assumed all of the smaller ones were always just baby crawfish until I had to break down the tank, and I'm going, none of these smaller ones have claws. These aren't baby crawfish. And once I put them into a glass with clear water, I could tell that they're actually Stardust and not crawfish. So it was really cool to know that for years that they were doing this with no water changes and just heavy amounts of food, top offs, heavy amount of mineral content, because there was no lid on the tank either, and the Stardust were able to survive and live. So definitely something that I recommend to people, because you can keep them in with a tank. Neos, again, they're not going to crossbreed. But they also might not crossbreed with the Tangerine Tigers. And if they do, you'd be like the first one to do that. So, it's definitely tricky on whether or no that actually happened or not. A lot of the Stardust kind of vary in coloration slightly and spotting, but they all kind of round off at the end into the same dull colors until they're pregnant, and then they kind of burst with the galaxy pattern, the Stardust, that they get their name from.
So, quick question from Caleb says, "What's a good starter shrimp for a beginner shrimp keeper?" It's kind of what we're going over. So, at the top of the list was red cherry, but any type of Neo, which was
For Neo
off the
Caridina,
list.
it's pick your favorite color, because a beginner shrimp keeper, you might want to work on culling and working on stuff like that. So some of them do throw more colors than the rest. If you didn't catch the earlier part of the stream, definitely recommend rewatching it and paying attention from here on out, because I go through basically our top 20 of the best shrimp to start keeping or breeding and then selling on top of it. So these are really the bread and butter of what we sell in the hobby,
And then
or in the industry, since it's no longer a hobby for us, is it?
it's still sort of. I mean,
We try to keep it a hobby, but at this point, we're making money off of it.
I think it would be
It's hard to call
more
it a
of an
hobby.
addiction.
Yeah, I
Pass.
can agree on that.
Passing Wind said, "Will the Stardust and the Tangerine Tigers breed, and what would they make?"
I think I just covered this, and he asked it before I answered that,
No,
or like the
I wasn't.
same time.
I wasn't reading or
But
listening.
yeah, if they were to crossbreed, you can make it, name it whatever you wanted to, because it'd be the first time to kind of cross. So Stardust are a wild type shrimp out of Hong Kong. And as far as I know, there has been no successful crosses for those shrimp whatsoever. There's a lot of claims and possible crosses, but until you take a male and a female that are like very young and no chances of them being tagged or anything like that, it's said that shrimp don't retain sperm. But like, what if this isn't the same species of shrimp and this species does retain sperm? So I don't know. There's a lot of work to be done to prove whether they can or cannot. Anything else?
Mark said you forgot Michael Brankin.
No, because those aren't easy to breed in tap water, Mark. I'm not even through the list. How do you know they're not on the list? They're not, though. But we have number 10 on the list is black rose or chocolate shrimp. I'm kind of labeling them as the same. The genetics are the same. Life is like a box of chocolates. It comes from the greatest shrimp movie of all time, and it is very ironic because the chocolate line, the black rose line, you never know what you're going to get. You could get blacks, you could get browns, you can get the onyx, which are just basically a black rose or a chocolate that has a painted coloration or thick enough shell that there's no transparency to it whatsoever. And then there's a little shimmer of multiple colors on top. So it's the same line, same genetics, just different quality and grade of the shrimp. But you can get the Bloody Mary, the black diamond, blue diamond, carbon rillies, all of those shrimp off of them. They even throw some orange and yellowish color shrimp as well as greens. Possible that's where the green emeralds come from as well. They're definitely a lot of fun to have, keep, and breed. They also hold their price at $6 a piece for black rose. Quality and stuff like that has to be on point. You want them to look like the color of my t-shirt right here. But you know, they are one of the shrimp that are still in demand. They haven't dropped in price. There's not a lot of people out there that carry them. So when we bring them to the shows, there's a lot of people that get excited because they've never seen those shrimp in person. You working on something here?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So brings us on to number 11. This is our first Rillie variety of the Neocaridina. We have the red Rillies. Prefer the red Rillie blue body. This is going to be in a higher demand than the clear bodies just because that blue color is desirable. Oh, now you got the burps or coughs. I got the hiccups. I hope it's just one and done. But the red Rillie blue body, the demand for stacking two colors on top of one another, actually just in shrimp in general, the more colors on one shrimp, the higher the demand is for that shrimp. And so the red Rillie blue body, there is a lot of work that they've done. They throw a lot of culls. Some of the culls will be the Red Riding Hood. Some of the culls will be blue velvets. Some of the culls will be just solid red cherries. So you can get a mix of other shrimp out of those. And you can start off, other side tanks by getting those as your first shrimp. But like I mentioned, there's a lot of work in just removing and staying on top of quality if you do want to keep that Rillie pattern. Pretty much if you let the tank go and you never do any culling, you will get like a 25% mix of Rillies and then a 25% mix of the either Missoura or opposite, where you just have color on the tail, and then solid blues, solid reds will be another 25 mix, and then the other 25 is going to be just every single pattern in between. So a lot of different variables that can come out of the shrimp if you don't try and keep them pure. So trying to keep the line going and calling them out, you'll get 70 to 80% of pure Rillies, but you'll never really get pure breeding, true 100% red Rillies babies out of a batch of red Rillie parents. You got a lot going on over here on the sidelines. Anything I should know about?
Not yet.
All right, not yet. All right. Number 12 on the list, we've got.
Oh, Sam is in the house though.
Oh,
Scales.
welcome to the house, Sam. We've got your print up for grabs tonight. One of the red cherries. It is number 1 on our list of recommended shrimp to keep, breed, and sell in your tap water conditions. Yeah, just so happens that Sam gave us a bunch of prints to hand out to everybody. So um, Sam is the bass master for sure. I've got a Cole Master T-shirt for a nice bass one day. I'd like to be able to wear it, but it's a big shirt. I didn't read what Mark said. You closed it too soon.
Anyone, he's looking for Cladophora sellers. Just try to find some mothballs out there. These things are awful.
So, number 12 on the list, we've got our orange pumpkin shrimp, orange neocaridina, Crypt Keeper. Share Sam Scales links if you have them on hand.
Matt
Should have
did.
given you. Oh, thank you. He got him his Fish Fam link. Matt's on top of that. Thank you. But yeah, check out Sam Scales. Great artwork. He does a lot of trips and tours to not just Florida, but like other cool places like Ohio Fish Rescue and stuff like that. So definitely a lot of cool and interesting content to check out there. But number 12, the Orange Neos, aka the pumpkins, whenever it's Halloween time and the sellers really want to try and sell some Orange Neos because they sell like poop the rest of the year compared to the rest of the Neocardinas that I already listed. But they are, better than snowballs, better than wilds to keep and sell. So I'm dying. Take over.
It's just funnier to see you struggle. I don't even know what we were talking about.
We need more tanks.
You sound like you're really struggling too. Oh man.
All right, I'm good now. A little comedy, I guess. But they do throw a decent amount of culls. It is really hard out there to find nice orange neocaridina. When we first started out, I had to buy 6 bags from 6 different sources, and out of those 6 bags, I only kept like 2 out of each bag. Is it still bad? Oh,
Not much better.
it's because
here.
you're coughing. Something's in the
know.
air. I
It's
don't know.
gotta be.
Maybe it's all the paint.
It's
fumes
a
that
dry.
finally getting
It's
to
a
us.
dry summer. No, it's not. I was sweating within like 3 seconds of being outside.
So we took the best of the best, and still the amount of offspring that come out as culls, it's just more than a lot of the other shrimp. And orange is just not a very desirable color. There's very few people where their favorite color is orange, and I always say if their favorite color is orange, that's a good red flag right there.
Stop. Nancy B asked, I'm getting blues with red heads and tails out of 3 different lines: Bloody Mary, Blue Diamond, and Blue Dream. Is that a dominant color pattern?
No, so it's just like them trying to revert back to what genetics they already have. The Bloody Marys and the Blue Diamonds. Maybe you don't have Blue Diamonds and you have Blue Dreams, but the same with the Bloody Marys. Maybe you don't have Bloody Marys and you have Red Cherries. So you might have 2 different lines of Blue Dreams and 1 line of Red Cherries, but Bloody Marys should not be throwing blues. There is a trick, though, with Bloody Marys that they try to throw on you. Not a trick that you can do to them, but a trick that they pull on you is in the morning when you turn on the lights. Sometimes it'll look blue, sometimes it'll look purple. A lot of the pictures online that you'll see where it shows a purple shrimp, it's like early in the morning when they post those pictures. Probably because they turned on the lights that morning, looked in the tank, and they saw a stressed out Bloody Mary. There are some nice high-grade red cherries that can do this as well, but for the most part, and also there's a problem with people that crossbred Bloody Marys and red cherries together, so you can get those in those lines. I don't even know what to call those. Are those all Bloody Marys at that point or what? I've got some from my original Bloody Mary line that I messed up, but I can tell you they're no longer Bloody Marys anymore because they throw orange, they throw yellow, they throw the red, really blue body, and they have some with backlines, which my Bloody Marys didn't have backlines until I crossed them with the red cherries. So I don't think you have legitimate lines of shrimp on 2 of those.
So Sam did say got some TGO exclusive art prints in the work and mystery snail compilation. It's pretty cool. Excited.
Did you also hear that we might be picking up some mystery snail products onto our website?
We haven't talked about that yet.
Oh, well.
I think once we've settled that and solved that, then we'll talk about that. Shady
soon.
Grady asked, "How do you make a red/blue really shrimp?"
So the best way, and it's actually my very first cross in the hobby, and I think if this wasn't successful, I don't think that I would be where I'm at today with my addiction and how bad it has gotten. So we started off with red cherries, had 3 tanks booming off of the first batch of red cherries that I bought, and I felt confident and readied enough to try the next step, which was blue velvets, right? We bought some more shrimp off of eBay. Bad idea. If we didn't learn our lesson the first time, let's keep trying, right? So blue velvets came in. We got maybe an order of 10. We got 11 of them, and we started just losing one after another. I think a few actually came in DOA. And then once we got, is Matt already talking because we didn't use the giveaway, or did you catch yourself?
No. He caught it.
Oh.
Continue.
All right, but we lost all of the blue velvets except for one, and then I had just one lonely blue velvet in the tank all by itself. So I decided to move it into one of the red cherry tanks. It was like my coal tank, and then I was going to get another batch of other kind of shrimp, a different color from a different seller or something like that. Well, a couple of months down the line, I'm starting to see babies, the red willies with blue bodies. So you can cross blue velvets. Another way is blue dreams. The blue dreams are going to make slightly darker center. You can also use Bloody Marys crossed with blue dreams as well. And you just want to avoid using blue diamonds. Blue diamonds does not really make the red willies with the blue bodies. So those are ones where you'll get culls. But it is still a possibility, not culls, wilds. It's still a possibility you can get wilds. Were you able to take it from one and throw it onto this one?
Yeah, it automatically did it, so that was pretty cool.
Well, look at you, Matt. You've got a good product, a good thing going on here. That's great. makes my old and decrepit way of technology easy and simplified. So if Shelby can figure it out, I'm all for it.
June blames you for getting more getting more tanks.
Well, thank
Grant
you.
Is always the
I will take credit. I like hearing these things. There's a Petco $1 per gallon sale going on right now. If you need more, you need more. You know what I'm talking about. One of these shrimp on this list you heard tonight. You're like, I didn't know I could keep those with my, pre-tank to the Oscars. Just use your shrimp tank water to change out your Oscar tank water. They'll love it.
Christy, we have plenty of tangerine tigers, but if you want to make sure that we don't run out, you could always place your order and we can hold it. You can put in the dates, the day you want to hold, or we'll just wait till your email.
I was just filming the tangerine tiger tank in the bedroom that we're going to be moving, and there is so many little tiny babies, like teeny tiny babies. You would not believe how small and all over the place that they are. They'll be in the next video, though.
Yep. June says that the orange shrimp from us a year ago are actually doing exceptionally well and super orange with lots of babies. So some of our oranges throw good. It's just a lot more work than everything else.
We worked really hard on them until I broke my leg, and then there was an unfortunate flood, and we lost our good colony.
Really
so if you have shrimp from before I broke my ankle, I would love to get that line back because we tragically lost the line when we tried to.
Are you filling water somewhere?
No, I don't think so.
It sounds like it,
but I don't think so. Not. We got a lot of pumps moving water, in the house potentially, but I don't think any of them are in the
Something
works right
sounds
now.
loud right now.
There's always
Oinky
something
did ask,
water
may I
moving.
ask a new shrimp mom, what two oppositional colored shrimp would you recommend that I keep together that would not crossbreed?
Tangerine tigers, and then your favorite color, Neocaridina. It is that easy. But the Stardust that I had already mentioned, and then the next shrimp that I'm going to mention, and then another shrimp that I'm going to mention are pretty much already just as easy to keep as the Tangerine Tigers. So it's really just pick your favorite color combination, but we'll get more into that because right now it's time.
It's time. I'm sorry.
Hey, how you doing?
Really distracted. I could hear that from very different angles.
It also
Hey.
sounded like our front door had just opened up. It's just our dog. And it's not even the big goof. It's the big goof. He is the one snoring? Maybe they switched spots.
We're all off.
How's it going, man? I'm sorry. That was just he must have busted through the doggy door at an enormous rate. But how are you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys?
Good now. We're good now.
So I posted up the question 2, maybe 3 minutes ago or so, shall we?
She's on top of it. She actually
This
had it
time.
ready.
So if Tangerine Tigers can go into tap water, then could I use a Tangerine Tiger to make a hybrid to breed in tap water, or do you think that would cause issues?
So the answer is yes, absolutely. But how far can we press that is the question. There are some things like the tie bees that I don't think you'll be able to do because of the double thickness of the shell. I think they need that low pH. But for the most part, like F1 crosses with the Tangerine Tigers, almost all of them are probably good to go into most of the parameters, like what we talked about tonight. However, say you crossed it with a Taiwan bee, and then the second generation crosses with one another, those tie bees that would potentially come out of that cross would never probably even hatch. You know what I mean? Because of the tap water and the higher parameters. So if you're looking for a single pigment striped hybrid, something like that, definitely Tangerine Tigers is a good one to cross. But once you try to get those thick shells like the Pintos have, I don't think you stand a chance to chase that. That's a pipe dream.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right, yeah. I was hoping to put my backlines in a Neotank, but I guess that's out of the question.
yeah, because the base is Tangerine Tigers with Shadow Pandas, but you got to think like I basically bred the low pH gene, the recessive gene, into them as much as possible to make that a stable. So there's another thing though, is like say you start the tank off with Caridina parameters and then you just slowly convert them over to Neocaridina parameters, then to tap water. Maybe you can get them to breed, but I don't think they'll ever produce and thrive like they did in Caridina parameters, where I think your Tangerine Tigers, the F1s and stuff like that, still have a chance to thrive and do their best in the tap water still.
Oh, okay.
The water I heard running was our laptop fan.
Okay. Somebody say it?
No. I just figured it out.
Okay. So, all right. Well, I hope that answers your question. I will be talking a little bit more about Tangerine Tiger crosses on the list a little bit later. So,
Yep. Thank you so much.
no problem, man.
Thanks,
Great question.
Sam.
Yep.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
So, number 12 on the list was Orange Neos. I talked about how bad they were, but they're still better than the other Neos that we'll talk about. So, number 13 on the list is Raccoon Tigers. Shelby claims every now and then that these are her favorite shrimp. They have an attitude. They're kind of aggressive. They can be a little bit of a bully. Maybe a good option to keep with the ghost shrimp, but I wouldn't risk it. They are like an $8 shrimp. compared to a 50 cent or 12 cent shrimp, depending on where you get them. So the raccoons are a lot of fun. They got a lot of color, and they're very hardy on their own right. They can take a majority of tap water, maybe not as hardy as the Stardust, definitely not as hardy as the Tangerine Tigers, but they are in their own right. And again, I don't know of any crosses with the raccoons that have been made yet. So you could potentially keep these with a Neo, Tangerine Tigers, raccoons, and Stardust all in the same tank and not have any crossbreeding going on. I believe DD has one of these tanks, shrimp mosh pit tanks going on. So, it's definitely something I encourage. That is basically it when keeping tap water. All the ones that you can keep together. There is Malala shrimp, but they need a heater. They need a heater in order to do really well, and then they do well on a higher pH. So if your tap water comes out with a low pH, then Malala are not going to do well. So they did not make the list, but it is possible to keep all 5 of those shrimp together in the same tank and not have any crossbreeding. So Dee, how is that tank going, by the way?
And real quick, Bunny, not a stupid question. Raccoons are Caridina, not Neos.
Well, they could be Paracaridina. They could be a Caridina species all on its own that nobody really knows. Crypt Keeper the other day said that we need to start up a GoFundMe for DNA projects and testing and stuff like that. The problem is like you can get somebody that's like, oh yeah, I'll donate $10 to do this testing for this shrimp. But then it's really hard to get like 200 people to do that. And then there's like maybe 100 people that want to do testing for these shrimp, but not these. So it's like, it's a project. So we need a rich person to just say, let's do it. I won the lottery.
Yeah. Dee said, yep, I have Aurora Blue Tigers, raccoons, Stardust, and Blue Diamonds in a 60-gallon, and they are doing fantastic. I need to see a video of that. I have to go look. Do you have a video of that? I need to go find it.
I would just like a colony picture of them all eating, like a nice big old pile of like Shrimp Envy Complete, or maybe all on one of the shrimp lollipops or something like that. That would be really
cool. So this is a really good question. I figured this kind of pertains to this. How big do the babies need to get before you cull them?
So it's tricky because it really depends on the kind of shrimp. All shrimp will gain color as they age through maturity. And then a lot of shrimp will gain dots, spots, stripes, splotches, and stuff like that as they mature. A lot of shrimp can actually change color as they mature because of the pigments are actually overlapping and stacking on top of one another and giving that, shadow effect to change their color a little bit. So we usually try and cull at about 1 centimeter in size, but we also always try to keep a cull tank because you never know when one of those ones that are like on the borderline of needing to be culled, sometimes they gain a lot of color or cool patterns and stuff like that. But at 1 centimeter, a male can potentially start breeding with females. So we do definitely get them out of there by 2 centimeters for sure. One of the things I'm so excited about getting the water changes done faster is being able to spend more time culling and working on different tanks, which I'm going to need more tank. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to need more time to cull when we have another 100 shrimp tanks added to the collection. So.
Yeah. I've actually sent... Some of you might actually know when I send culls, like you ordered some culls on our website. Sometimes you get some pretty ones that come out of that because different water parameters can actually bring out different colors. So I have sent some oranges that I thought were culls that looked like dull in color, and then the people got it and wrote a review was like, these aren't even culls. Like they were good orange shrimp. So like it happens because You're moving from different parameters, different substrate, where sometimes these are on the sides of our walls of white, so, and then they get stressed out and you put them in a cup, they look completely different. So, and then you can put them in a tank and they're super happy and super colorful. So,
We forgot to do the giveaway after Crook Keepers.
no, you just said it was after. You didn't say it was like right after.
I guess you're right. So let's do it
Well-
in the next in 5 minutes here. Hashtag, what was it?
Cherry scales.
Cherry scales.
Cherry scales.
All right. Now this brings us to number 14 on the list. This is a shrimp that we don't have. We should have it. Being on the list, the demand for it, and
Oh.
everything like that. This is a shrimp that I've wanted for a long time. The Bloody Marys are basically kind of similar situation. I want them. I want a big colony so I can start selling them and stuff like that. But the risk involved with buying shrimp from somebody else and potentially bringing in fungus or another type of parasite or something like that, it's just not worth it. Profit is all fine and dandy. It helps put food on the table. It could potentially get Shelby out of her, corporate job and whatnot. But bringing something like that into our facility would be detrimental to our reputation and stuff like that. So I'd rather make them from scratch, or wait for somebody like Crypt Keeper, who's got a line from somebody else I trust. He bought his from Mark Shelley, who have actually thought about buying them myself through. But he got 2 lines of what I consider the same shrimp. So blue jellies, blue velvets. I consider those to be the same shrimp, just renamed for different sale. They should be the lightest color shade of blue that the Neocaradinas come in, and there should be no variation. There should be no culling. It should produce 100% blue velvets. Possible yellow red head on the little bit of red on the head or on the tail, but for the most part, it's all one shade of blue.
All right, interrupting you. Thank you so much, Toop Dog, for getting 5 memberships. So welcome to the team, Nancy B, Gina's Reef, Victor. We got Coro and Vibes. Welcome. Don't forget, I already talked about it a little bit earlier, but I'll say it real fast, that you will get a sticker. Just make sure you email us at thegardenofeater@gmail.com, or else I don't send those out. Just make sure you include your real name, your address, and your YouTube name so I know who you are, and we'll get those out to you. We could also hold it if you want to wait, and we can give you your 10% members only discount code, and we'll include it in your package, which would also get you the keychain in that as well. So,
And Coro, you're on the same team now, but come Keystone Clash, you're battling against each other. Shelby is finally in the running for the Keystone Clash aquascaping contest.
oh, Cora's actually
believe so.
escaping?
Yeah,
Oh, that's-
wasn't that one of the people? On
I
the
don't know.
list?
I didn't read.
I believe so. I'm still coaching Eric Wyrock, so good luck.
He must. Eric hasn't been in our live streams for a while, but he must sing the whole time we're escaping. It is a tradition now. He must be dancing and singing the whole time. But go on.
Oh, never mind. It must be a different Coro, or maybe it's Cora or Kara. I lied. I thought it was you.
Yeah, you read wrong. So
Welcome to the team. You
So
won't
not-
be competing.
I'm not
against you.
skipping anything.
So, the blue velvets I can make from scratch from red lilies, and I'm actually in the process of doing that in one of the tanks that is behind the couch. Y'all can't see that right now, but it is happening. We're doing it. The only thing is they're a little bit green in coloration, but it's probably from all the Shrimp Envy Complete that we feed them and other green foods like the club algae and stuff like that grows.
No,
And they're
Scotty,
changed
that
naturally.
was Grant throwing a bottle cap. Thought it was a killifish. No, there's lids on all my killifish tanks. Now you have me worried. Now I'm gonna go look. You just leave a little crack open. Continue though.
All right. So The blue velvets, though, there is a demand for them. They are blue. There's more people that ask me for those than like snowballs and wilds and stuff like that are not on the list. And they're super easy because they should be breed true if they're legitimate blue velvets or blue jellies. So then back to Caradina, we've got cheetahs. Cheetahs are just like the tangerine tigers. Is another wild type serrata tiger shrimp. They do really well in both sets of parameters. They do have a little bit of purple iridescent hue to them, depending on the lights you keep. Like if you keep any blue or purple coloration to it, it'll show up. If you keep just straight white lights, they don't have pretty much any color to them at all. They're kind of dull. But like Kirkkeeper mentioned, crossing them with something else. They do cross well with other shrimp and make a lot of different phenotypes out of the original cross. So also they make some pretty cool green coloration F1s. So anything?
No.
No? All right. 16 on the list. We've got another really Neocaridina. These are the orange, not as popular as the red Rillies, but they do get quite a reputation of people asking for them. I actually have some still hanging on for Chattanooga Ed whenever he's ready for those. You just let me know, buddy. I got them. They're yours. You're the first. But other than that, they throw a lot of calls. They're really hard to keep up on, and not a lot of people keep them. So the demand is not that crazy. I kind of debated a little bit with carbon Rillies. They are 17 on the list, which ones to put first and stuff like that. But a lot of people that want the blues, they don't want to deal with calls, and they just want the blue diamonds or the blue dreams. So I do think the orange Rillies do get a little bit more demand than the carbons. So they are 17 on the list. And then 18, we're back to Caradina. Actually, the rest of the list is Caradina. Not a lot of Neos left over that aren't on the list. I think it's just snowballs and wilds that didn't make the list. The demand for those is just slim, few, and far between. But yellow King Kongs, the demand for those is quite high. They do breed pretty easy in the tap water conditions because they are a tangerine tiger hybrid. They might even be solid, complete tangerine tiger selected bred. But after breeding out our own line of yellow King Kongs through tangerine tigers crossed with a shadow panda, the only thing left to do is take some out of my pure colony of yellow King Kongs and cross with those and see if we get just straight yellow King Kongs or if anything else comes out of that mix. But I am pretty sure that's how they are made. Just doing some reverse genetic engineering here to final that out. But they're super hardy. We've got them breeding in our green emerald tank. Small 7.5 gallon tank with a bunch of Ceru stone, which does alter the pH and fluctuate it. We've also used the yellow King Kongs with testing out different fertilizers and stuff like that, and they've been super hardy, very successful. So 19, another tangerine tiger hybrid, or I just actually put it as tiger hybrids in general. Mostly everything you cross with anything else on the list that I named before, tangerines, even auroras, they're not on the list, but they have the same genetics as the cheetahs. They just breed a little bit slower, so they didn't quite make it into the top 20. If I had a top 25, they'd probably be 21 on the list. But I wanted to make sure the list was at least an hour, but didn't want to make it too long. And then so the tank tie, there's a ton of different hybrids you can do with Tybes and stuff like that. Of course, the F1s, the less B genetics that you're going to put into these, the more hardier they're going to be. But they definitely can't survive as much variety and range of parameters as, say, the Tangerine Tigers can. There is going to be a slight limit because they have some of the B genetics involved. Tiger hybrids that cross with one another, like the green tigers, which are just auroras and tangerine tigers crossed together. Those are going to be just as hardy, basically, as tangerine tigers. And then final number 20 on the list. There was a little bit of debate between me and Shelby on whether these should be on the list, but I gave a reference to Eric Lucas, who breeds all of his in Neocaridina parameters. Now, whether or not it's California tap water or if he's mixing it with the GHKH minerals, that's another question altogether. But the orange-eye blue tigers, they are hardy enough that you can keep them in some Neocaridina parameters. Now, is it, perfect tap water conditions? Possible, yeah, but it's going to be like 10% of tap water maybe in America is going to be good enough to keep orange-eyed blue tigers. So they're definitely, demand is crazy for them. It's the one type of shrimp that since I've been keeping shrimp in the hobby, they've actually gone up in price. They used to be $6 a piece. Now they're $10 a piece is the average price. You can still find them every now and then for $6, but you can also find them for $20-25 a piece as well. So, they're definitely one of the nicest shrimp in the hobby. Also, one of the shrimp that got me enticed and wanting to keep them all. So, that is the list of top 20 shrimp. Anybody got any shrimp that they think should have been on the list that's not on the list, or any questionable Caridina that they want to bring in?
We've got 20 questions for you to catch up on.
Oh my goodness.
All right, Crypt Keepers. What are in your cheetah hybrids? Would those be okay in tap water too?
So the cheetah hybrids are crossed with red steels. Red steels are also basically a tangerine tiger hybrid. So you're like doubling up on the tiger gene there, and not as much as the bee gene as you would with other ones. So I would say yes, they would be able to survive a majority of tap water conditions too. But Crypt, I think we had a better question for your question of the week, and it was how hard is too hard for tap water? And you had mentioned your tap water comes out around 600 TDS. That's going to be too hard, I think, for a majority of the tiger crosses and stuff like that. But if any of them could do it, I think it's the cheetah hybrids or tangerine tiger F1s. But our cheetah hybrids are basically F1 or F2, but they're not crossed back with any bees. So you will have the best chance there.
Rob asked, what shrimp max out as the largest Neo?
I gotta say the ones with the back lines, the yellows, were by far our biggest to date out of all the shrimp. I think the greens can get just as big though. Same with some of the reds.
Yeah, I think Bloody Marys and red cherries. The international shrimp contest we went to, I've never seen shrimp so big in my life that it made my shrimp that I thought were huge in my tanks. I was like, these are really great size. They look so nice. And I put them in the international contest and they look so small. I did get a good scoring on it though. So I was still happy because the coloration was good. So, but man, it was pretty funny. Shady Grady asked, what's a red devil shrimp made from? And do you plan to sell any soon?
Won't be selling any anytime soon. We've got like 2 tanks of them that we've been trying to breed them out now for a while, and they have basically turned into orange-eyed blue steel tanks. I don't know if the blue gene, like a black gene, is dominant over the red, but I basically lost all the reds from crossing them with our other shrimp that were orange-eyed genetics. So we do need to source a really nice line of orange-eyed red devils. There's 2 good breeders here in the States that I know off the top of my head that have them. I just want to make sure we've got the tank set up and ready. So once the new rack by the front door is done, I'll probably dedicate 1 tank to red devils, but it won't be anytime soon.
Orange-eyed specifically.
I am trying to make them. Basically, you can cross any kind of red bee Caridina shrimp with the orange-eyed blue tigers or orange-eyed yellow King Kongs and eventually get it. But it's a lot of crossbreeding and selective breeding for the orange-eyed gene. Once you get the orange-eyed gene, that's the harder recessive gene to get. And then the red on top of that, they're 2 recessive genes to get together. So it is a little bit of work through crossbreeding, but I've done it with hollow eye red ghost cross with black tiger orange eye. I've done it with orange-eyed yellow King Kongs with black tigers, orange-eyed. So there's definitely some ways to be made there.
Didi said, sent you an email. This is all your fault. Probably asking for more. I love crazy shrimp lady Didi. Chiller message said, tigers, cheetahs, and yellow King Kongs for my nano community tank.
Yeah. The cheetahs and the yellow King Kongs and the tigers, though, can all crossbreed. But you'll get a lot of mutt tigers. You can keep, yellow King Kongs and then raccoons and Stardust all together, and there won't be any crossbreeding. But you got a nice nano community tank with a little bit of low pH or something like that. They'll do really well.
Koro said, would tangerine tigers be reasonable in a summer pond, or would I stick with Neos?
I would stick with Neos. We've tried tangerine tigers outside, and I don't know if it's the temperature swings or what's going on, but they're not doing nearly as well in the garage. The garage does stay a more stable, constant temperature. So I wouldn't recommend putting the tangerine tigers out there just yet. But I mean, if you got extra tangerine tigers, you got extra ponds, do it. Prove me wrong so I can do it next year with more, I don't know.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Confidence. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
I was going for vengeance. That was the
I
word
feel
that came
like
to my mind.
pond outside won't get as hot as our garage has been getting. We're going to have to take some temperatures. I think
we can take that tomorrow. I think our
it's not
outside
bad.
ponds are hot.
Yeah.
Compared to the garage.
They're just breeding slow, which would you think usually when temperature is warmer, shrimp tend to breed faster and have a shorter lifespan. But that's not happening. We're having just like a stable, but they've been inside for years. I think that's what's going on.
I also think the temperature's dropping outside at nighttime. Mm-hmm. So that's that swing throughout the day where I think the garage stays more constant.
Rob said Cali tap water will get you 3-eyed shrimp. Oh, sorry. That's a good one. There's another question. I'll get
Ohio too, I hear.
Oh. Is that where that spill was?
And then there was a train bridge crash at Yellowstone. So don't drink the water around Yellowstone if you're camping.
Brandon said, thank you for the recommendation of doing the blue steel and cheetah hybrid cross. The babies are finally large enough to see the patterns. That's really cool.
And there's probably so many, right, Brandon? You got to let me know. There's got to be at least 6 different phenotypes. Yay or nay?
Nirvana Aquatics asked, if you are remineralizing with KH and GH, what would you target for a mixed Neo/Caridina tank?
I would aim for 180 TDS. This is the highest point for the Caridina shrimp that I really aim for, and it's like the lowest that I would mix my Neocaridina to. I try to aim my Neocaridina like perfect for me is 220, so 180 is not bad. And for Caridina is 150, so it's like a midpoint for both.
Crip said, I've got tangerine tigers, cheetahs in my tap water right now. Haven't started breeding yet. Plan to move raccoons and Stardust to their own tank as well. And said, my parameters are 600 plus TDS. Oh, see, 17 GH, 11 KH, and 36 lead.
Yeah, he's got lead in his water, and I think it was like only like 12 or 15 is recommended. It's actually in his water report.
What?
That he gets. Yeah. So,
I don't think I want to know.
Oh man, I was about to say. Oh, I wish I had tested the TDS of my Stardust tank and that was the self-cloning crawfish tank, because after over a year and just topping it off, I'm sure the TDS was over 600. So I know they can take it and breed in it. The Stardust for sure.
All right. Ashley said, hey guys, Shelby, I met you at this escaping contest at the expo, setting up my first shrimp only tank, and love all the great info on the channel. Won some blue diamonds at the expo and it lit a fire. Get ready for a whole whirlwind, because usually you start with one and you end up like us crazy people that got way more than that. So it's great meeting you. And if you're just joining, there has been a few people that just joined. It is #cherry scales.
This is the last chance. We
For-
got to
yeah,
do this. We already
forgot.
did this. It was supposed to pull it 5
Yeah.
minutes ago.
So get that
I
in
just saw it.
right now.
We got to draw this. Last chance. Hashtag cherry
Hopefully
scales.
those blue diamonds are doing great for you. This is kind of our talk on easy stuff to do in tap water. So usually, like if you win them at a raffle, it's usually some great. If you ever have any questions, though, we're available like 24/7. All right, let's see. And I am going to give it one more minute because the delay on you saying that. So.
And then not just can you enter cherry scales right now to win one of these, but whoever comments down below on the best topic for a live stream, if we pick your topic in the future, we will send you a print. So,
All right. So let's do the giveaway. Let me refresh that. And then share screen.
just a hint. It's got to be a new topic. It can't be one that we've already done because we like to do refresher videos and stuff like that.
Fish fam tool.
You never know what you're
share.
going to learn. Like, we already did a video and already learned like 3 things we did wrong that we should have done differently. But, you know, when it's too good to be true, it probably is.
All right. I'll refresh it one more time just in case.
This
Oh, look at that. That was a
chaotic
couple.
wheel. Oh my gosh.
It's only going to pick one, so I think so.
I'm just
I don't
messing
know.
with Matt.
Last time it was, I refreshed
Refresh,
it. Right?
refresh.
Okay. refresh. All right, let's go. Caprice, congratulations. Why did you throw the pen?
It's my confetti.
Congratulations. Make sure you email us at thegardenofeater@gmail.com. Give us your address, and we will ship that right out to you.
And don't forget also, you can comment down below to get your own Sam Scales print.
All right. Mark says, I'm packing and listening to you guys. Just rub it in, why don't ya?
Yeah.
Can we come? We can fit in suitcases, right?
I'm not down for that comfort level.
Chiller Message said, my San Diego tap comes out at 550 TDS. Would 50/50 tap to RODI get me close enough to B shrimp parameters, or is it RODI plus GH minerals? Is that the only way to go?
All right, so believe it or not, at your TDS, you are good for all of the Neocaridina. You're probably good for tangerine tigers, raccoons, stardust, and the cheetahs as well. Did I say cheetahs? I don't know. But basically, you're good up until number 18 on our list. If you are having troubles with molting, yes, a 50/50 would put you at about 225 TDS. That's not right. It would be 275 TDS. Sorry. And
Yeah, right.
that's a little bit closer. So you could actually do, you know, like a little 55-45 action. But you know, 50/50 mix would be all right. You just want to make sure it's consistent. So if it's really easy for you to fill up an RO bucket halfway and then fill the rest up with tap water and then, you know, mix it for a little bit with some dechlorinator before you mix it into your tank, then yeah, that's not a bad method. But I would try straight tap water before you give in and do the 50/50 mix for most of these shrimp.
Ashley asked, any important tips on setting?
But if you're going straight full Caridina, no, you have to go RO unit with GH only minerals.
Ashley asked, any super important tips on setting the blue diamond tank? Of course, scaped, and I just ordered some shrimp envy food and Bacter AE.
So there is not like anything super important. It is inert substrate, a little bit of wood or something if you want to get fancy, sponge filter, or at least something to prevent the baby shrimp from getting sucked up into your filter. And then we recommend like a little bit of plant, fern, or moss, something like that for the shrimp to kind of colonize in. So other than that, you need some tap water with dechlorinator and prime, and that's all you need. Be very, very cautious with the Baker AE. We only add a small, tiny amount when doing water changes only. It can absorb a ton of oxygen and be more harmful to the tank than beneficial. We don't use it no more.
Frogs Fishing More said, "What pH range can Neos tank?"
So
Take.
they
Tank.
they can do the widest range, pretty much on the list. Overseas in Asia, they breed them in like 5 pH, and then maybe 6.5 on the high end. And over America, our water just comes out of most wells and stuff like that at a higher pH. So we try to keep them in that tap water, and that's why they just do better for us here. And they can go up to like 8.5 on the pH scale. So I would not really be worried about the pH of your Neocaridina tank.
That's crazy. They have warnings on Facebook all the time about the lead in the water where Crip is. I would not feel safe drinking that water or even being near that water. Passing Wind is trying to mentally figure out how many tanks to fit in his daughter's room that she's leaving for college. That's exactly what Grant would be doing. He'd be like, "Oh, so many more tanks." Oh my God, I'm dying. Guppy B said, "From your first tank to making a decent paycheck per week, how long was you invested till you were sure you got this moment?"
I believe it was 3 years. We were very lucky enough to be able to sell our landscape business and put away some money and focus on this. Shelby picked up a couple jobs, so it wasn't like I really went full time. I more like had a sugar mama that was kind of like taking care of me for a while. But if I had done things differently, I think if I had tried a little bit harder, if we had done the Neocaridina ponds outside from the get-go, this would have all been like a full-time job from the first year. Neos were in such high demand when we first got into the hobby too. So definitely missed opportunity, but in 3 years' time, I think is about what it took us to go full-time.
A lot of hard work. Bunny Viper said, "Shelby," and you have to advertise a lot. Bunny Viper said, "Shelby and Grant, in your opinion, what are the prettiest Neos?"
The greens.
So as mine differ for everything, like I absolutely love all the blue shrimp. I think it's such a pretty shrimp to look at, but in no way, shape, or form, if I did an aquascape, would that be the one I'd choose, because you never see them. So in aquascaping, I would choose yellows or reds because they really do pop out and they are really neat to see in a tank. Like my tank on the counter is all reds, and I absolutely love that tank and love the shrimp in them because of the being able to see them all the time. So that's why greens kind of like lack for me. If I had like a tank where I could see greens all the time, no problem. And then the blues too. I mean, some of these pictures of blues are just amazing, but I want to see my shrimp. So I would like, it's not something I'm going to stop and stare at like I do other ones. Live stream shaving Grant's beard. Not a bad one. Not a bad one. I don't want the beard to go. No, I like the beard. I like the Amish one. It's pretty cool. It does get a little annoying, but
maybe next year after like grow it out during the winter and see how long it gets.
Benjamin Peters put a little light on those likes, peeps, and I had to read it like 3 times because I thought someone wasn't like giving you enough peeps, like the marshmallow candy. I was just waiting for that. Oh goodness. I know there's a lot more questions. I'm just trying to get to them.
So, in later news, we have finished Jaden's room with the air system. It is completed. We are able to just basically plug and play all of the tanks and move them into the new room. There is some painting left that we want to touch up and do, so I don't have to worry about paint fumes or anything with the tanks and having to use any aquachar. Aquachar, by the way, I don't want to throw any red flags out there, but we only have 2 boxes left on the website, and I don't know when I'll be able to get more. Brian has been very busy with politics and fighting DeSantis hoax thing with taking all the books off the shelves. It's a crazy mess.
You should just teach us how to make it.
But
At this point,
you need a jet engine.
I've got one that I can find it. I got it. Okay.
So,
Sorry.
anyways, it's one of those things where if you're desperate or thinking about it, we have 2 of them left in stock. I have some that I'm holding back for myself, but after these next 2 sell, I'll have to take it off of the website until I get more from Brian. Hopefully, we can get more in no time soon, but it's definitely questionable. I don't know if we'll be able to have it.
So one of the first topics so far, a good topic could be air pump maintenance. I'm gonna rough. Oh wait, I can go back to the live chat. I forget that I can go back to it. So air pump maintenance.
It's all right, but I don't
Videos.
think it's like an all right video.
Yeah, like a
But
quick
I don't-
5-minute video.
I don't know if I could talk about it for an hour. So I don't think that's gonna win any prints from
There's a
Sam
lot of
Scales.
them. So maybe I should write all of these down and then we go over it.
Oh, so it shouldn't be in the live stream. It should be in the comments section
Oh,
in
yeah.
the video afterwards. So if you've listed a good idea already and it's in live chat, I'm not going to see it until.
Yeah, there's a couple good
comment
ones so
afterwards,
far,
so-
so not bad. What? I'm so confused what's going on in chat. Okay. Lady Diane said RO water is the same as distilled. Yes? Question mark?
So that is a video that we would love to do because I've had quite a few people who say their distilled water comes out at different TDS levels and stuff like that. So yes, in theory, distilled water should have 0 TDS. Just make sure it does. I think I remember on the Shrimp Spot, which is a shrimp farm, maybe 7 or 8 plus years ago, when we first got in the hobby, where somebody was warning about a certain distilled brand that was reading 30 TDS. So there is a problem, I think, with people drinking 0 TDS water. So some of the distilled water was putting in fine essential minerals for life. But this is not anything I've ever tested, but it's something me and Shelby have talked about for ages. Shelby has been trying to put together some videos. She did a vlog.
That's actually how some of the videos turned out. It was just
and put together all of our carnivorous plants that we actually have kept alive since the Keystone Clash last year. So
and we're going back to get more. They have a booth.
They do.
Yes.
If they have another carnivorous
So
plant
excited.
auction, you will find me in the back buying the cheaper ones for sure that have color.
All of them.
Yeah.
All
So
Obsession grown. I can make 16 of these. It was so easy.
it should be Lady Diane, but yeah, I don't know.
I know it's a different way that they're actually done, so we don't know the knowledge enough to answer that 100%. Aqua Garden Zen said, "Do you have any saltwater shrimp that you breed?"
I wasn't done talking to Lady Diane.
I'm
but
sorry. I mean, excuse
It's
me.
okay. I was saying if you're having an issue with an RO unit or something like that, distilled water should be an alternative. Just check the TDS before. Back to you, Shelby.
Aqua Garden Zen said, "Do you have any saltwater shrimp that you breed?"
Once upon a time, Shelby wanted an upside-down jellyfish tank that turned into a salty, sexy shrimp tank, but never got them to produce any babies. Maybe the corals were eating the babies. I didn't know what I was doing
We
back
struggle.
then. So in the future, I would like to, but we do have Opa Ula. I think the Opa Ula might survive in a saltwater environment. I would say our saltwater Opa Ula tank is probably approaching saltwater.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
that's
buy
the closest.
a salt reader, a hydrometer.
I know. We broke ours, didn't we?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But
Disappeared.
Yeah, we need to just get one of the really good ones that they actually use in the saltwater hobby, but I don't know. We would kind of rough it with the Opal. They're brackish, they're easy. Shelby thinks you can keep them in tap water, but I'm like, I feel like
I
if that
don't
was
know.
possible,
I said that it might
that would
be.
be a thing. And
I mean,
nobody
it's
would
one of
be
those
keeping
things-
them in brackish.
Well, remember that
It's like
stupid
puffers.
little bowl that people were doing? They claimed that it was the Opal Ula that they were putting in these
Yeah,
bowls.
but there was still brackish
They were tap
water.
I'm
No,
pretty sure.
no.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll
Little
see.
bit.
We're gonna have to test it now. I feel bad. I'm only gonna test one shrimp though.
You feel
Just in
bad. Do we
case.
talk about the brutal crash landing?
Nope. No, we do not.
I think we
do not talk about that.
We
We're
do.
gonna no.
There's 82
No.
people here, and
No.
they're clearly
No.
wanting to know what happened about our shrimp
No.
to space. Although there was a beautiful launch, just like the first
15
SpaceX
second delay
mission.
launch.
All right. This happens in space travel. There was a catastrophic failure on the landing, and there was no survivors. So the payload is questionable on what would have happened with those shrimp, but the ground test, phenomenal. They all worked out. We are getting some of our shrimp back that we sent to the Polish rocket launchers, but not a successful mission, but not an unsuccessful mission, I guess. I don't know. I really want the shrimp to go to space and come back. And the guy that's running it is graduating this year, so I'm like, I gotta pass it on to the next person. But what if the next person is just like, I'm tired of this shrimp thing. Like, I'm so ready to send hamsters into space. I'm gonna be like,
Useless.
"God."
Useless
And then
things.
I try to apply for SpaceX, but there's nothing in the shrimp sector at all. Like, nothing that even says shrimp on it. So I looked all over.
Chiller
From
method.
California to Florida, Cape Canaveral. There's nothing. No, I went through all.
Okay. Chiller Method said, thank you for dropping the knowledge week after week. Topic for a live stream. Live setup of a 10-gallon for bee shrimp while we chat and hurl questions at both of you.
You know what? Maybe we do a live stream while we
'Cause we
set
can do
up
it with
some
the
of
phone.
our aquariums on the new rack that's going up. Not in Jaden's room, but we need to build a rack ASAP by the front door because I have nothing to do projects and expand our lines with.
Ashley said, hi, sorry, me again. Why don't y'all use Bacter AE anymore? Do I need to add any minerals or anything for them? Super new to shrimp.
So if you're using RO water, yes, you need to add minerals for sure. If you're using tap water, chances are you have all the minerals you already need. Check the total dissolved solid or GH or KH. If you have a total dissolved solid reading of 70 or higher, you probably have everything you need. If you have a GH reading of 4 or higher, you have everything you need as well. And then the Bacter AE, for some people, they can just overdose it. So, and for us to use the little tiny spoon to measure out the right dosage for 300 aquariums, I just didn't see any like real benefit of using it as long as we cycled the tank appropriately. The Baker AE is more of like a biofilm grower builder. So if you have enough surface area in your tank and not an overcrowded, overpopulated shrimp colony, then there's really no need for it. So why waste the money and add it into the tank if you don't need it? And like I mentioned, too much of it can absorb all of the oxygen in the tank, because if you have a living organism, it's eating up oxygen. Biofilm is a living organism. And if you have a colony explosion, well, all of a sudden you have a lot of little tiny microorganisms that are absorbing oxygen. So that's what's going on there.
And because you said you do have the blue neos, and if you're just doing tap water, a lot of times you already just have the minerals. So all you need is prime just to take out the chlorine. And on top of that, I would say that the only minerals you should be ever adding, really, if you're doing tap water, would be into their diet. So as far as like we have a mineral food that we feed. That's like the only thing. I know so many people put mineral balls in their tanks. You really don't need that. As long as you include it in the diet and switch up that diet, that should be all they need if you're doing tap water. And obviously, if you're remineralizing with minerals, you have the proper minerals already. So the only thing you should do is be feeding mineral food once in a while to get that good molting for those shrimp and things like that. So,
Or if you have tap water that's lower than 60 TDS, then you do need to add minerals into it. But other than that, I wouldn't be worrying about it. You want consistency. There also is, certain water treatment plants and stuff like that where the TDS depends on the time of the year. So if your water is that inconsistent throughout the year out of your tap water, it might be time to get an RO unit or buy distilled water to make your water changes.
Misa said you should do a contest with red plants and green shrimp. That would be pretty cool. The only problem is the substrate. I can't see the shrimp with the substrate. So, I mean, some
Red plants,
green,
white substrate.
yeah.
Just put the.
That'd be cool.
Oh no, because you're gonna lose all the color.
That's
with
what
the
I'm
white
saying. If
substrate.
we had
You're
good
right.
enough green shrimp, maybe they won't lose color.
Yeah.
But they won't be as pretty.
Yeah.
Nirvana said, "Wait, Aquachar is made by one guy currently." Yes.
And that guy got all the equipment taken away, and now another guy is making it, and then making it for Brian. So, but yeah, all Aquachar is a small operation. It's not like a product that you find in Petco and stuff like that. So, it's for like lazy people like me that don't want to swap out or deal with activated carbon all over the tank.
And Average Creation says, "Is it okay to have a white background and a black substrate for Caridina shrimp, or does the background have to be black? Will it affect the color quality?" Thanks.
I don't think the background really plays too much into play. You should be fine with just black substrate. Most Caridina shrimp are not like the Neos where they're going to lose color anyways. So I don't think you have anything to worry about. Doesn't sound average though.
Cora says, if you chat your idea, you aren't following directions and forfeit by default. That's funny. Ooh, just one more fish came in with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you. Says, "Hey guys, can't wait to see y'all at the Clash and still interested in volunteering for Daytona Aquashella. Keep up the amazing work." That's awesome.
Yep, we
Thank you.
definitely need the volunteer help at Aquashella, but
Love it.
we'll be seeing you before then at the Keystone Clash. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that, of course. But thank you for the $4.99 super chat, and just 2 more fish maybe, or 1 more shrimp. That's the question.
Shady Grady, we do sell the Aquachar by the cup, so we only have 2 cups left. Like,
Yeah.
treat 50 gallons per cup. It's in a box though, but we usually
you
take
buy-
it out of the box.
If you buy a small box, it comes out of the box. If you buy a medium or a medium-sized package, then we can fit it in there. We fit it in with the box.
Okay.
Save space if we can.
K Aquatics came in, says, "Hi, this is Brandy. I'm one of the 200 people you met in Charlotte. Love the yellow Neos. The lily plant that is supposed to have a circular leaf pattern isn't doing well. Any advice to save it?"
All right, so the mosaic
That's gotta
plant
be it, yeah.
needs highlight. And if that's the one you're talking about, where it's like a lily pad and all the little tiny individual pieces make a lily pad, it's one stem. I don't know if you have the stem rooted or not, but we do recommend it for really highlight tanks or the best. Oh, I'm dying here. I'm sorry. The best place for them is like a little patio pond or something like that, where it's going to get, half sun throughout the day. They do really well in full sun even, but they at least need, good 6 to 8 hours of sun to do really well and thrive. They do all right in some tanks without the highlight. If you have a full spectrum LED, you can get away with it, but they do need a lot of nutrients in the soil. So if you have just sand and a low light, then maybe set up like a little bucket outside with it. And they'll do really well in a very small amount of water outside. So
Chiller Method said, do you have a separate air pump in the new kid room setup, or are they hooked into a larger system? Would love to find a quiet pump for a full rack.
So we have 8 now Alitas that'll be running all of the aquariums in our house. We could run one big blower pump. It'd be loud. We could probably box it in somewhere, but then we would have to run PVC pipes throughout the house or drop them in through the ceilings. And this isn't our forever home, so we don't want to do all that work. So it's a lot easier, and it kind of just looks a little bit better having a separate air pump for each system than having lines running all over the place. The Alita pumps are great. Gemco is another really good pump that we recommend, but they're both rather quiet. I do recommend getting at least an Alita 40 or larger. The smaller pumps are actually like louder than the bigger ones. So
Gina said, I could have a refractometer in the mail for you tomorrow if y'all would like. Is that what they're called?
yeah.
The hydrometers.
Yeah, I mean, I would
That'd be
love
awesome.
one if you're donating it, or let us know how much, or we'll
Yeah.
trade you shrimp for it or something like that. It doesn't need to be a handout, but yeah, we have been very, very lazy when it comes to salt water and trying to give that the whole run for it. I've used one at Aquashella to test the water for Joanne, but that's about it.
Is it different than the one we had that's like real easy just to fill up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like a pen, and then it's got a little lens that you lift up, and then you put drops of water, and then you close the lens, and then you
That's
look
so
at it, and
weird.
it shines a light, and it tells you the percentage.
Why? I just fill it up.
It's scientific. It's way more
Saltwater
accurate,
people.
but yeah,
It's all like gibberish, you know, like when we're learning Latin and stuff like that. It's just like something new to learn. I know I want to breed saltwater fish, but I'm more into like pistol shrimp and the mantis shrimp. So like those are my two have to have shrimp, and I want to breed them.
I need a good tank, a ton of pods that is set up for a Mandarin Goby one day. So it's on the bucket list.
We do have a video on us doing water changes, DD. Maybe I don't know the name of it though. It's really old. It's old, but we still do it pretty
So-
much the same way. Besides the new pump.
So the new pump, Lady Diane recommended that we use a water safe hose. We got one of those off of Amazon, and I can't remember who it was that was mentioning that the pipe fittings that we used are PVC and thread and not a hose thread. They do sell the hose thread on the PVC, so we could just go and get some of those and fix our issue. One of the ones did actually start leaking when we set up the new rig. So maybe that's something we'll look into. But other than that, I'm really happy with the new water change setup that we have. So once I fine tune these last couple things and decide what I want, maybe we'll do a brand new water change setup video on how we do water changes for all of the tanks in the house.
Yeah.
With some cool time lapse maybe of us draining and doing a whole rack.
Yeah, not the maintenance one though. That's a mess. Just the water change.
Just me draining and
Yeah,
filling it
just
up.
the
yeah.
maintenance ones. It is a mess. I wipe every single thing on. That would be a long video. Coro said, do you all have any advice or experience with filter feeding shrimp and crabs?
So we've kept the micro crabs, I think twice now. We just you never see them. You don't know if they're doing well, but they do. They need dirty water. They're the only ones where I would recommend you make sure that you feed the powdered shrimp foods and stuff like that. Shrimp King makes a food just for filter feeding crustaceans. This was a question for you, though. Why am I answering?
It's either way. And I know that actually you could probably post on, there's a couple people that have filter feeding shrimp that they have on Shrimp Pimpins group. I know Ruben has filter feeding shrimp, and he's been doing really well with them. He just doesn't breed with them, so that's a good question for Ruben.
But they like high
His
flow
look great.
and dirty water. That's the best thing I can tell you. Say for it.
Eduardo coming in with a $5 super chat says, question on topic, a live showing as many shrimps and demonstrating their different environments and sexes with your collection. Not a bad idea. Like a house tour? Because it's so complicated because it's all over the place with our tanks. So like we'd be like, oh, okay. There's like a couple tanks next to each other. The environments don't change on some of these racks like at all. Same water parameters on some of them. We could show a video of like difference between sex when you're doing that to kind of like say like this is how you could kind of pick them out.
I do like the
maybe
idea though. If
like a
like,
live tour.
all right, say we have somebody coming over that's wanting to do a video of our house soon. Like LRB hasn't done a video of our house yet. We would go through and potentially try and scrape all the houses or all the tanks in the whole house. So if like that happened on a Saturday and then the live stream was on a Monday and our tanks were still clean, maybe we could feed before the live stream, and Shelby can go around with the phone and I'll just narrate. And you can skip over the tanks you don't want to do.
Mark L said, "What
I think
about?"
That's a pretty good one. I think you might have won yourself a print there, Eduardo.
Mark said, "What about that cool container you're getting?"
So on top of the now 3 water change hoses that we've got going on through the house, we also got a 250-gallon water container, thanks to Mark. He's going to deliver it when he comes up for the Pasco Club when he gets back from Jamaica. But that is going to enable us to get done with water changes and just crank through the house and maintenance and stuff like that, and actually be able to take care of over 500 aquariums, maintenance everything, and still have time to go collecting with Mark and Sam when they come to visit, and really enjoy time with the kids. Jaden wants to get into swimming and stuff like that, so recently we haven't been going to the YMCA or doing anything like that because we just haven't had time. So that will definitely give us more free time to do stuff like that. Who knows, maybe even get a commercial fishing license and start keeping some of the cool natives on the website.
Nirvana said, clearly you've never seen a Harlequin shrimp. So, which is funny because Harlequin, there are freshwater Harlequins. But the saltwater ones, yes, I have seen them. I do like them, but I do prefer the bigger shrimp. Like if I'm going to do a saltwater tank and take that time, like it's going to be one of those. Maybe a small tank once I get it down, but I want a big tank to start with for easier water changes and to be able to stabilize that water. I had already tried smaller tanks and failed miserably, so I want a bigger one to do bigger, volume of water is not much fluctuation, so I won't lose things as much. I think we had
Harlequin, sexy shrimp, peppermints, and the camels.
Yeah, we did not do good with it. Let's just say that I suck at saltwater. It's something you definitely need to spend a little bit more time on than freshwater. Freshwater, you can let something go for a week or two. Saltwater, you definitely need to keep up on the maintenance.
We also did a 5-gallon tank. So if you're ever going to go down that road again, we would definitely go much bigger. But at the time, I didn't think I had room in the house for anything bigger than a 5-gallon tank. Boy, was I wrong. None of this was here.
Benjamin
none of this.
Said mantis shrimp are amazing little predators, but I worry about them cracking the tank. So actually, the last aquascaping contest I won, it is the thickest tank I've ever seen. It is super heavy. I actually want that for my pistol shrimp. I don't believe it'll be able to breed in that, even though pistol shrimp are a little bit smaller. They actually can shoot out water so fast that it will crack like a normal tank. So I was like, this is perfect. I don't know if it's going to be perfect still because it is glass and not acrylic.
Yeah.
So we'll find out. I'm definitely going to get my pistol.
Taking the risk. Send it.
So I'm definitely getting my pistol shrimp. I mean, they're not like stunner looking, but I mean, they are cool to have. Just like, just hold them up. Sorry, my little cowboy shrimp. Sorry, so lame. But anyways, salinity. I don't know what he was saying. Oh, that's how you measure salt. Yeah, salinity. I like the hydrometer. It just seems so easy. But I guess it's just because I've never used a refractometer. So there was another question, but I think I'm missing it.
I don't know. Somebody said Mandarin gobies are stunning or gorgeous. And
Mm-hmm.
I think they're like psychedelic. They look so cool. I think that's it though.
Yeah.
2 hours, 5 minutes. We started a little bit late. Got through the whole list. Thank you, everybody. Welcome all the new members: Eduardo, Kenny, Jeff Kane. I know I'm forgetting somebody else,
A lot. DD.
but thank you guys.
You're talking
so
so low
much.
again.
I'm so tired. I'm dying. I'm crashing bad. I'm sorry.
Some streams about Shelby's fish projects. When I get the tank set up, when I
Yeah.
get the room set up, there will be videos. There will be a lot more. I need to make sure I'm in the right place. Right now, I'm not in the right place. I'm very stressed out about my fish being all over the place. Whole reason we're doing a lot of moving around. So we'll definitely get there. But thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for all the super chats and new members. Don't forget to email us at thegardenofeater@gmail.com for any of those stickers or questions. And we're getting so tired, we're just repeating ourselves.
But if you want to see more from the Garden of Eater, go check out our latest video. We got a box from KG Tropicals. We had a problem, solved it, and now we're starting to kick butt. That saved time is going to give us more time for videos. We already filmed all the video. It's going to be the last video of the bedroom with shrimp in it, basically. Shelby said she's going to keep some shrimp, but
yes.
it's no longer going to be a shrimp room.
No.
It'll
Fish
officially
mainly.
be a fish room. So we're filming it in its final days of glory, basically. After that,
Stop. It'll be so funny when I have all the fish in the room and then I'm just going to put a shrimp tank next to the bed because you got to have shrimp in there.
I already ate a half a tub of cookies and cream ice cream today, and that's probably why I'm crashing, because I was all wound up right before the stream, and now the diabetes onset is kicking my butt. So I just need sleep.
Yep. So thank you everybody for watching. I hope you have a good night. Check out the video we posted, and we should have another one out this week, hopefully at least by Saturday. So thank you all for your support, and I hope you have a good night.
Turkey Hills cookies ice
What?
cream.
What are
It
you
was like
talking
a
about?
7.2. It was not that bad for store-bought ice cream.